Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Joy of the Hobby podcast, episode 27. I am Matt. I am joined by my good friend and co-host, Ben. What's up, Ben? Good to see you. We are here the day after the Super Bowl. Thank you for those who patiently waited. Normally, we're going to be on Sunday, so after this one, we will be on Sunday. Hopefully, we don't want to jinx us, but really happy to be here. Really happy to talk about our episode where we're going to focus in on talking about strategies. When new products come out, we're getting really excited because baseball's back. Pitchers and catchers have reported. So we're starting to get back into the swing of things there. Football is over. So it's time to kind of move on and get ready for new things. Really exciting times coming up here, man. We're getting ready to, we're doing some cool stuff at work. So anyways, Ben, how's everything been going the last couple of weeks? And what's bringing you join the hobby currently?
Things have been good, busy over here. Today I finished getting all of my cards together. I actually fit my full PC in one pretty large, I think it's a 20-gallon bin. I was able to fit all three of my cases very tightly in there.
Very good.
I put everything in, including the Sorrow stuff, and they are packed tight. So I'm almost at max capacity. My unwritten rule for myself of this is the max amount of cards in the PC. So there will be some more slimming down that'll be happening this year, and probably again a reduction and focus in the pickups. I got one big one that I want to show off this episode that
can't wait, dude.
Came in.
That's gonna be exciting.
But yeah, that card that came in has been bringing me joy. Getting all my cards kind of in the case, I got them all reorganized. Has been bringing me joy, and then doing the research for this episode, looking at some of the new baseball and dipping into looking at some of the upcoming hockey stuff has got me pretty pumped.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm really looking forward to talking about these things with you and hopefully some of the viewers in chat. What's up, Luke? Good to see you. I told some stories about you this weekend. I'll tell you hopefully in the near future. It was pretty fun. And then Bernard, awesome to see you here. And I do want to say thank you to Bernard. He's been great in the new Facebook group.
Yes.
He's been kind of adding to some discussions and creating his own discussions. So hopefully we can get that Facebook group up and running here within the next couple months, getting some good discussions. I know we've both posted a couple times on there, just trying to get some different themes going. And
I do have to say, Bernard turned me on to that PSA promo card from like 91, and he found a Griffey one. And now it's like all I've been thinking about since he found that copy. That is like, it's one of those things for me that's like a piece of the hobby history that I had no idea existed. Thanks to the Facebook group and Bernard. Now I know this thing exists, and now I kind of have to have one.
Nice, dude.
Like, I must acquire a copy.
Yeah, when I saw you comment, I was curious if you were going to, start doing a little bit of digging on that. Because, again, your PC, one of the rules that you have for it is adding cards that, are part of the hobby history. And, just a little bit of a throw-in for you there, a nice segue. I mean, I know that you probably want to save it for the end of the episode, but I think there's nothing better than starting off an episode with a bang. So I'm going to throw it to you. I hope everybody's ready for this. Ben, you want to talk a little bit before you show it too? Like, what was kind of your motivation for going after something like this? And then like what does it represent in the overall hobby history part of things?
Yeah. So for one, Upper Deck was the first to do pack issued on-card autographs. So that's a huge piece of hobby history. Then like probably one of the biggest cards of the 90s is the artistic designed Griffey Mantle dual autograph.
That's right.
And then the card I have is like kind of the last one Topps did in that same vein of like artwork on card autograph. They did singles. They did a duel with Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan, and then they did the duel with Griffey and Mantle. And then the last one they did was in 2005. And it's for a group of people who achieved like a certain thing of baseball, that these are the only 4 guys that ever did it. And they're, because of the stat, the only 4 guys that will ever do it in history, just because the game has changed. So this is a piece of baseball history, hobby history with Upper Deck, and like kind of all captured in one card. So this is the card. Now these are in-person autographs because there's only 10 copies that were pack issued. But again, because it's 4 guys, getting all 4 together on card is such a feat. And so here it is. It's all 4 guys in the 4,000 strikeout club. So Clemens, Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, Randy Johnson being the last one to get there.
What a beautiful card, man.
I mean, the artwork is incredible. Upper Deck always had like amazing artists do great. Like I think this one's like an oil paint done. It's so good. All same color, same thickness marker, so they look so consistent. Like it looks like they all sat in the room and signed it like together.
Wow.
Like that's just how clean it looks.
That's sick, dude.
So they made 4,000 copies of this card, and you can see, some of the guys like Nolan Ryan and Steve are getting up there in age. So I know there are still people chasing, trying to get all 4 guys to sign this card in person.
Right.
But there's signing fees, getting to those guys, finding a way to get them to sign the card. It's a feat to get this done. And from what I could see on at least the PSA registry, there's like, I think 30 copies that have been signed by all 4 guys. So
wow,
very, very small amount of them out there. And for me, it's cool to have something that's that rare, but it's more just like the piece of history of like, these are the only 4 guys that are going to achieve that in baseball ever, all on the same card. Great artwork, all on card autographs. Like it's
crazy that there's multiple levels of history with that card.
It checks all of them for me, right?
Yeah, last art piece, the only 4 guys that will ever achieve that feat, and to get it signed, even if it's in person, the price that it would take to get it all signed, talking time cost and financial cost. I mean, I think you got a heck of a deal. And when you go 10 years, 20 years in the future, that will be one of the best deals you've ever got on a card, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
I think it goes down. I mean, it's a card you guys can easily go find, and you can find a 130 point like what I paid for it. I have no shame in that, because I think it's an incredible deal for a card that like I think should be worth way more than that, given
especially
its
for what
history.
The unsigned version goes for. Like, tell people, like, can you put that up again, Ben? Like, normally that card is numbered to what?
Yeah. So this card's numbered to 4,000, right? Because 4,000 strikeouts. It's kind of hard to see on the side here, but it's numbered to 4,000. The unsigned, so 0 signatures, just the base card numbered to 4,000 of this, averages about $630 to buy this card with no autographs on it. And it's because people want to get a copy and try to get it signed by all 4 guys. So there's like a real chase happening. We'll see how many people can pull it off, but like you just don't see these come up. And I saw this one. I also think I got very lucky. I saw it, thought about it for 2 seconds, said if I don't go for this one, I'm going to be very mad.
Right.
Put in an offer, went to bed, and the offer went through because I kind of, in my opinion, lowballed it. Didn't see anything back. Went to bed. It was accepted in the middle of the night. Someone just said, sure. I was like, I woke up and was like, what? What? Okay. This is great.
Yeah, that's probably going to be your best pickup of the year. I mean, I hope it's not, because we've got so much time, and I know there's one other card that might equal that. But in terms of, historic cards in your collection, that one is up there.
It jumps right into the top 10, like no problem. Because of the boxes it checks. And you know what? If it is the best card I pick up all year, not a bad one. It was in my grail list. So
you took the opportunity to go after it when it came up. And again, for the price that you'd pay for a raw copy, and then to travel and get all 4 of them to sign it, I think that you got a deal beyond deals. So I don't want to say it was a steal, because that, put some negative connotation on it, but I think it was a really, really good deal. So Jeff, really appreciate you being here, first of all, and second of all, thank you for the kind words.
Appreciate it, Jeff.
And of course, I knew Bernard would be pretty stoked about that. And then Luke coming in hot with just a beautiful comment. That's here.
The perfect take. And it's possible he could get there.
Don't worry, Julio's on his way too. I know he's early on, but the guy,
hey, Ellie's in the hunt too.
I love Julio so much, but man, that down and away pitch. Good thing we got rid of Suarez, because he would have set the Mariners' strikeout record in the very little time we had him. But anyways, so that's awesome, man. Well, I mean, I don't even know if I can follow something like that, but the one card, I've got a bunch of great cards out for delivery today, but the mail comes late here, as opposed to back home in Alaska. It would come at 1, 2 o'clock. Same with when I was in Washington. But we'll save that for the next episode, my new side quest, which I'm kind of going to talk about a little bit today, but I was able to really target specific cards similar to what we're going to talk about with new products. But I will show one thing I think is cool. When you get a color match, like in general, a color match is pretty cool, but I think there's different levels to that. And if you can get a color match that's also pretty rare, I feel like that really adds to the chase factor. So in Ultimate Collection, we have parallels that are numbered to 5 that are black. And I really, really like how, in this case, look at the jersey that he's wearing. So he's got his alternate jersey, his alternate pads on, and it's the black parallel out of 5. And I really like how it all comes together, and it really accentuates the mask too, right? Because like the blues and everything kind of go with it, but the mask really pops. And then to have all black jersey and obviously the pants, I really feel like that kind of, like solidifies this being one of the better rare parallels that I have of him. Because we're going to talk about this in a little bit here soon, but like the red parallels from Topps Chrome, if you're a Reds collector, man, those are sweet. Or Phillies,
expensive,
or
but sweet.
Anybody else, Cardinals, of course, those are great. But if you're a Mariners collector or a Pirates collector, the only thing about them that's special is that they're rare, not that they look good with the photo. So, I think, see, Luke said it.
I know. It's like those out of 5s. That's tough.
Yeah, I know that, all the red refractors. But, that doesn't mean you can't get some good deals on them still.
One of the products we'll be talking about has other versions of red that alleviate that pressure and that budget.
So, anyways, on that note, I feel like it's funny enough. I just got a notification that all my stuff was delivered just now.
Nice.
I'm not running out to get this for this. So I knew that was gonna happen too. I think I said to you like, oh yeah. But
as soon as we start.
Yeah. So when we were talking about what to do for our next episode, this is something that we both got. I know I texted you in the middle of the night and we touched on it last episode. I was like, dude, this product's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about Platinum Anniversary, which is going to be which year again, Ben, for everybody?
So it's going to be 2025 Platinum Anniversary. Will be the
but what throwback year is it?
But it's going to be so the reason they skipped what they're saying is they skipped 2024 so that it will be exactly a 70-year gap. So it's going to be the 1955 Topps design of the 2025 players.
Perfect. And so on that note, it got me really excited because my current hockey guy that I'm collecting is not really in a lot of stuff. He'll be in a few more things as of late, but it takes a while to get those products out. So I do like getting excited about new releases, and I know you do too. But going back to our guidelines that we set for ourselves, which I think everybody should think about doing. If you haven't gone back and watched our first episode for the year where we talk about our goals for this year, I highly recommend it because Ben and I set these goals and we really want to stick to that. And in that vein, we're going to be talking about some goals that we have for ourselves when new products come out, when our guys are featured in them, whether it's the base checklist, autographs, inserts, and so forth. So I'm going to throw this to you first here, Ben. Like when you think about new releases, obviously there's the excitement. Oh, sweet, new release. Hope my guy's in it. Well, Ichiro, he'll be in it. But for me, thinking of Brian Woo's in there, like when I find out a guy like Woo or Glass now before we're in it, that's really exciting. But how do you initially react when new products come out that Ichiro is featured in, or Mookie Betts, for instance?
Yeah, so it depends first on. So I initially set guardrails on like what types of products I'm going to be interested in, right? Like generally speaking, for like a flagship or something like that, it's generally speaking, I try to avoid those unless there's something really unique, like a case hit that I like. Like, for example, what you posted in the Facebook group, the home field advantages. I check those out every year to see what the design looks like. If the Legends Ichiro is going to be in there, I see if it's something I'm going to be interested in. But I start with just like slimming down the products, right? Because we're talking about, especially in line with our goals of the year, like we can't be excited and searching for cards in every product because that wouldn't really be in line with our goal of slimming down our focus, right? You can't put a card that's going to be coming out in the future at the beginning of the year's goals because you don't know what's going to be out there, right? So that's one thing, is I only look for like specific products. Ones that I've purchased cards from in the past that I know I've gotten in hand and really enjoyed. Like that's kind of the first rule of thumb. And then I kind of put these in like some generic notes, but the other thing I'm looking for is going through the parallels, which can be kind of hard to do if you're just looking at like what do you call it at Upper Deck, like the product sheet or what you release early that has like a few photos, but not. Yeah. So like solicitation, like you see the text of everything that's going to be in the checklist, right? But you don't really know what they truly look like. So you kind of eyeball, I think these might be the ones I'm going to be interested in. So I have a slimmed down list and I can kind of keep an eye out on streams or those saved searches when the product actually hits on like release day.
Mhm.
So kind of
Right.
prepping so I'm not looking everywhere. I'm kind of slimmed down to here's the few things I'm going to look for and try to like see what they look like, get some good photos or video of someone that has one in hand.
Right.
Because I mean, really, when you look at especially baseball products, there's just so many parallels, and a thing like flagships, so many inserts, right? Like you can be
Right.
overwhelmed if your player, if you got depending on who your player is. And to be fair, Upper Deck has a lot of parallels as well. Like
Yeah.
if you're collecting a top player, they're going to be in everything. You're looking
Yeah.
at 100 different cards you could go after, right?
I mean, in a way, yeah. Like a Connor McDavid, right? You're going to have 25 plus cards, different cards that you chase in flagship. But I think it's really going to be a fun discussion here because we have a good contrasting group of players that we're after.
Right.
Darcy Kemper and Brian Wu. Brian Wu's probably just a little bit higher as far as like popularity goes, but they aren't going to be featured in everything. Ichiro and Mookie Betts are going to be featured in everything.
Yeah.
So you and I have pretty different approaches, but similar approaches in the same way when these new products come out. I do want to throw a question to the chat real quick. What's the one or two products that you get the most excited about when they come out? Let's start with that question. I was going to layer it, but let's start with that one. I want to know what products people get jazzed about and why, maybe if you get a chance, because this has kind of all been spearheaded by two different products. Obviously, Platinum Anniversary, and then Ben, which one do we both love so much? It's a bummer Matt McNeil's not here.
I know Matt McNeil's not here, but Stadium Club for the photography every year is something to get excited about because you fingers crossed is my player in the checklist. For me, Ichiro usually is, and double fingers crossed is the photo awesome.
For sure. And one thing that's awesome is that we both have our players on the checklist for Stadium Club this year. So I do want to go and show a couple of photos here, and then we're going to kind of talk about our strategies for this product first, just because I want to kind of talk about our mindset going into something of this, because as a person who used to collect an entire rainbow of a player, it was very overwhelming, and sometimes you would overspend to get the parallel, like the red foil, which is like one per box, or previous Stadium Clubs, there was way too many. Thankfully, the photo of Tyler Glasnow stunk last year. I will stick to that till the end of time. But I think that was a good way for me to transition out of collecting him. That's where it really stopped, and which is good. But I mean, again, looking at the photo here, that's such a unique photo of Paul Skeens, and pitchers do this to kind of warm up, right? Then you've got the legends are represented well in here. Great photos of legends. So you've got people who collect legends that can be in here, finding different cards. And then you've got your list of all the different parallels, which I believe is way less than last year. And that's because they got rid of something, Ben, didn't they? That they had and more commonly found last year.
Yeah, the chromes.
Mm-hmm.
Chromes are not in there. And I don't see the gold minted because that's a chrome card as well. So I didn't see the mention of the gold minted look anywhere either. So,
yeah, that's strange that would be gone because that's been a staple in Stadium Club for many years, right?
So with that reduction, they threw in a couple new colors. So I am curious. So one note I made for myself on this one, and I would do this for any product, hockey as well. If they introduce a new color, I almost always write that down just to see how the color is going to play with the photo. Some colors make the photo stand out depending on the photo, background, how it plays. So anytime there's like a new parallel, I immediately say, okay, hockey, baseball, whatever, I want to see what that looks like with my player and just judge. Maybe it's going to be my favorite. Maybe I pass on it. And I don't even have to think about that new one at all.
Right. And to add to that, I have this here as my number one note. The photo makes such a difference. On the Glasnow note, he's like waving at this introductory press conference and he looks like half excited about being there. Like, it's just not a good photo. It's not. And I already told you what photo I wanted it to be, the one where he's screaming after a big strikeout. Like, it just made perfect sense to use that. But Topps used it as like a photo variation type deal.
So you're saying you've done this and that you've passed on a card or a set with your player that you normally would really enjoy from just the photo. I wonder if anybody else in the chat. Yeah,
this has to be great.
You guys in the chat, even if it's a product you really love, have you showed restraint before, or like passed on a product that you got excited about and you just couldn't get behind the photo? Because
I'm curious.
I've definitely had buyer's remorse before, and that I've purchased a card just because I love the set, and I liked the parallel, and then I got it, and then I couldn't really enjoy looking at it because I just didn't like the photo on the card. Like that's kind of the baseline. You have to meet that bar first.
Great example. Alex Rodriguez, 1997 EX Essential Credentials. I'll never own one. I hate the picture. And
the running picture.
He just looks ridiculous in the photo. And they had made jumbo cards and solicited that photo all over. That was not the photo. I'm sorry, photo team at Flair. You guys screwed that one up. But I think for me, and I will say this, we'll talk about tops briefly. What I like to do is if people, and there's a few breakers, people that get boxes ahead of time on YouTube that will post it. And I'll go and I will put it at 2 times or 3 times the speed. And thankfully, when they open a product on like opening day or the day before it comes out or whatever, they'll show every card.
Yep.
And the photo of Brian Wu in flagship this year is amazing, which is great because that means his chrome parallels, sapphire, all the parallels. He just looks mean in his pitching delivery, and it's perfect. So I was very happy about that.
Nice.
Have you ever done that, Ben, where you've gone and tried to find a break and look at and try to find the photo of the card ahead of time before committing to like collecting any of the cards?
100%, especially on a product that I'm really excited about. Any of those guys that get something, because there's supposed to be like that unwritten rule if you don't open any boxes until release day, inevitably somebody opens beforehand.
Always.
So like I wrote that as one of my notes, like my general notes. Like if you're looking forward to a product, find the guy that's going to cheat and open up like 3 days early. Because somebody's going to do it, and it actually is helpful to like get eyeballs on the product on video and like really determine. Because sometimes even with this one, I love the design. I like how it's so photo focused, and even the like opacity of the banner they use for the name is great. I want to actually see the foil on it though, and how white is that white? Like you can't really see that until it's a video.
For sure.
I'll even still be inspecting. Like I think I'm gonna like this, but I need to see the foil. You know, is it all there every time? Stadium clubs sometimes with the foil it'll be like chipped a little bit. If it, you know, that QC thing, we'll be keeping an eye out on this, but that's all really good stuff to like pay attention to like the few days before it's going to be available.
You know, one thing that we're not seeing here is we're not seeing any numbering here, but if we're rolling with the parallels and how they've gone in the past, the only one that's numbered in here is this one, the rainbow foil board, which is my favorite out of 25, and the gold rainbow foil board. Now, I don't remember last year because I basically tried to forget it ever existed. Not only was the design subpar for Stadium Club, I think we can all agree with that, but the photo sucked. But excuse me, I'm wondering about these guys here, the gold and the turquoise. I'm wondering if they just have really tough odds or if they're going to be like 199 and like 99 or something like that. Do you know about those from last year?
Turquoise wasn't in there. I don't know about gold. They haven't made a lot of, I haven't seen anything or heard anything about the gold. Okay. Turquoise is the only new one from this year. So I guess another tip, maybe you guys do this as well, but something I've been doing is making an attempt to get, especially for unnumbered stuff like Matt and I like to collect, so something that might be sneaky rare, is try to figure out the print run of the whole product. And then based on the odds, if the odds are available for something like this, kind of get a rough idea of what the print run might be for some of these. So for me, if you want to do the work yourself, great. For me, I've been using a chat bot to do it. And based on the print run this year, so 2 things to keep in mind that I got from like scraping using the chatbot across forums and everything is that the print run is a little over double from 2024 for Stadium Club. So more than twice as many cards are getting printed. That explains the label autographs on stuff. Okay. Yeah. Got it. And based on the odds for members only and photographers proof, there's about 60 members only and about 30-ish photographers proof for 2025. Okay. So those are going to be, of the parallels outside of the rainbow foil board and the gold, those are by far the longest odds. So they do seem to have them in order here from what I'm guessing. So I would think those are the sneaky ones. Every year, I think those are the sneaky ones to go after. So you're saying 25, 50. So we could assume if it's an order that this one is maybe splitting like right down the middle, maybe 35-ish, because this is 25. Interesting. Yeah, so photographer's proof 30, gold is maybe, somewhere in like the 35, maybe it's 50 and members only is 60, something like that. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, that's going to be really, obviously getting the gold rainbow foil board. I'm wondering, it says rainbow foil board, and for me, that means the whole card should be gold, but they've always just changed this text to
the gold spectrum, and it makes it the 101, what is fine. But now I just want to kind of go over, like, now that we've seen and kind of talked about this product, what's going to be our strategies going in. Before I get to that, I do want to show a couple comments we've got here, because I feel like we're a little bit behind. But before we get to that, this is a fun way to collect. I like it. 100 green. Get the green parallels. They're affordable. Nice. Matches the name. A name match instead of a color match, but a color name match. That's
I do like it.
All right. Bowman, that's great. Bowman is going to be really fun. It's great for prospecting. So that's a perfect way to go. Carlos Jorge and Hector Rodriguez at one time, that didn't work out. Prospecting is hard. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I mean, even Julio Rodriguez couldn't have worked out, or Nick Kurtz. I mean, Jacob Wilson, nobody really saw that one coming, other than the fact that the guy could hit. Nope. But like, that's what makes it fun, but also tough. I totally agree. And then Ryan coming in, a big baseball collector. Yeah, we're all on the same page there. So we were excited to see the solicitation for 2025. It looks a lot better. I'm hopeful with the photos they showed there that they're being tasteful about getting some solid photos of everyone. Yeah. So fingers crossed with our guys. I sure hope so, man. I really do. We've only got 9 more days before it comes out, so that's exciting. Yep. Great to see Ray in here. Awesome to have you, buddy. Thanks for making it. And then, little comment on some prospecting. So, nice. Ben, now that we've kind of looked through, we've both done our research. I think my answer really didn't change after you kind of talked about the print run or potential print run. But knowing that Ichiro is going to be in here and Wu, we both, the first thing we have to see is the photo. Is the photo good? That's for any card and any set that we're chasing. I think we can both agree, and everyone in the chat will agree. We didn't get an answer on your question, Ben, but I am curious if somebody's passed on a parallel or a card because the photo sucked. But assuming the photo is good, what is your plan of attack? I'll let you start. For like, what parallels are you going to chase, and maybe why you're going to do that?
So I will probably stick with, I am going to have to see the way they display the designation for this, but so far, even last year when the design wasn't good, the way they just did the stamp for the members only was nice. It was like it was the foil board. It looked really cool. It was tastefully done. So for me, first one is the members only.
Okay.
About 60 copies. I like the way they present the members only. It very much reminds me of the old school Stadium Club members only designation, right?
Right.
So that's the first one. And then I already kind of mentioned it, but I will be keeping my eye out for the new turquoise. Just to see how that plays, because turquoise is close enough to team color for me.
It is for both of us.
That's kind of what caught my eye. So it's one of the few times where there's a color available that might work for Mariners. So for me, that's kind of like exactly where I'm looking. He's not really going to be in chrome. He is in one other insert set, but it's not in the solicitation, so we don't know what it looks like. I'll be curious to see what that looks like. I'm not usually big on the Stadium Club inserts, but they could get me. I'm always willing to kind of keep my mind open until I see what it looks like.
For sure. Yeah. Generally, that's not the highlight of the product. And so we'll just have to wait and see. I do want to ask the chat, is anybody else excited for Stadium Club besides me and Ben and Matt McNeil, who's not here, but I definitely want to give him a shout out, because he's going to be all over any of his Astros cards.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what parallels is everybody else going to be chasing? Because similar to you, Ben, the proof, photographer's proof, the members only, I love chasing those down.
Yeah. I didn't like the photographer's proof stamp they used. Yeah, I didn't like that one last year. So I'm going to be very picky. I will go after that one. But for some reason, that I want the stamp to be like, it should remind me of, like, remember they did first day issue back in the day?
Yeah.
It was this nice, like, bright rainbow foil, like big.
Which they got rid of. They got rid of that.
So first day issue is gone. So I would like the photographer's proof, given there's only going to be about 30 of them, should be like a very nice pop.
Right. I think we'll both be going for those. The gold has me interested, especially if there may be case hit parallels that are unnumbered. I would definitely go after a gold, because it probably replaces the gold minted. And of course, the rainbow foil board. That one for me is great, because you have a really, really good photo on like more of a modern technology type card. It's got the rainbow shine on there. And I definitely enjoy, that's the one. I think I grabbed an A-Rod from last year or the year before, where he's signing the autograph for the fans. I got a great deal on it, and almost grabbed the glass now, but I hate the photo so much I couldn't bring myself to do it. So So that those will probably be the ones I go for. Obviously the 101. If you and I come have a chance and the photo is amazing, it's really nice to have a 101 of a card with a really good photo, right? And I think we can both agree in that. So that's going to be my plan of attack. I'm really, really curious to see. I think by the end of this week, we'll probably potentially have a box or two up on YouTube. I know Topps gets those boxes out there early, and contrary to us, they like people to preview and get them hyped about the product. So,
sure. I have another question. I'm just looking at the parallels again.
Yeah.
And does Upper Deck do like black and white or sepia parallels? Do you guys entertain that look?
The black and white canvas, we do that. Those are pretty tough cards. Some of them don't sell very well, depending on the player. Like I can get Darcy Kemper for a couple bucks, but if you see on my Instagram account, I usually post the odds for those, and they're not very easy with the 100 card checklist to get your player. And obviously, there's so much of this stuff made that you'll get it. But we do that. But the sepia thing has always been a Topps thing, so I can't imagine we would ever go and do something like that. But I'm a big fan of. I wish I could show you a picture of what's coming in PWHL. I did my own version of black and white, but I added some color in there, so I guess I can say it. It's an insert called Spotlight, and the player is on the card, and the whole background's black and white. There's a like color parallel shine coming down over the player. But the thing I did add in there is the primary team colors and is in full color. So like if it's Minnesota Frost, Taylor Heisey will be there. Her face and the rest of her gear is going to be black and white, but anything that's purple will be purple in the picture. So that was my way of kind of changing it up a bit.
That sounds cool. Chat, tell me if I'm wrong. Sepia and black and white to me just kind of wash the card out. Like I don't think I've seen a sepia refractor or a sepia card or a black and white card that I've ever really liked. You guys tell me if I'm like way off base there, but I've yet to come across one that I thought was cool. And the negative I really can't get behind because I'm like, I can't even tell what's going on in the photo. I just think some of you have to be careful. I always am auditing all these parallels. Like, is this just they're spitting out a parallel to do it, or is it like enhancing the card in some way for me?
One last thought, and then we'll move on to the next one. Looking at this, which parallel in here might be, there's going to be so much of it open, but think about how many fat packs are made and how often someone's going to decide to buy that instead of a blaster box, a mega box, a retail box. That might be the trickiest parallel out of all those exclusive ones to actually get. Because if you're talking a 200 cards in fat packs only, and maybe you get like 2 or 3 per pack, I can't see the print run of those being super high. Obviously not as low as maybe the gold, but that could be a sneaky one. And I do enjoy that color on trading cards. I think if it's executed correctly, it can be really cool. So look, I love this comment by Ryan. He nailed it. I mean, I'm not going to throw any negativity towards any of our competitors, but if this were me, I would definitely not do that. I would probably make it a little more meaningful somehow. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, that's working as a strategy. Like if a new one could be exciting. I'm excited for turquoise as a new one potentially. So it could be good. It's just up to you to like see those early boxes open to see if that color works for you.
Right. Well, and like in the case of Luke, that red, that hobby exclusive, there's 3 hobby exclusive parallels with the blue probably being the toughest. I am really curious if like the red parallel, if it's a flood, like does that work really good for Barry Larkin or work really good for Votto or somebody? So
sure,
plenty of colors in there, but sepia is just not a color. Like you got to do a team color there and maybe give some color match possibilities. Right. Kind of interesting that Luke would say that photography is down on the list of priorities. I don't actually collect Stadium Club since 1993. I mean, and that makes sense. I think if you're big into photography, then you'll love Stadium Club. If you don't give a hoot, then you're not going to really collect Stadium Club. So yeah.
There are some card designs like from the 90s, right? Like some, the Bowman's best cuts atomic refractor. Like the Barry Bonds picture isn't fantastic, but the card design is so good that it kind of supersedes. Like it can transcend if the card is just incredible and what it's delivering overall. The photo can potentially take a back seat to how awesome the card design is. Like that does happen for me. And it definitely, I've seen it. I mean, for some of the hockey stuff I've collected, like the actual card is so sick. Right. If it's like a boring, just standing shot of Soros, like nothing interesting, it's like, well, the card's incredible. So I can look past that.
Right. first thing I thought of was linchpins. A-Rod's not running, but he's kind of like posing to like lead off from second or first. And I don't like the picture at all, but I love the design of the card. So,
Yep.
So
here we are.
So, and again, like Bernard, this is really interesting. I think this really goes to show that you can have sets that are very photo driven, and you can have some that are more of like the parallel itself is going to be the reason why something is awesome, not just the photo. So because again, Stadium Club's not going to do a lot of crazy foil board parallels. They do the one, and it's just shiny. There's not like crazy details and stuff on there. So
sure,
I hope they never do that. Yeah, I mean, and this is a good point. When you have somebody like Larkin who's going to be in everything, with their legends, that you can't really focus on the photos. But
and some players, for some reason, that is a good point. I don't know where, like, some players just have poor photo choice when it comes to sets. I don't know why. I think Barry Larkin is one of those that gets the short end. Back in the day, Tim Salmon seemed to always get bad photos on his cards. I don't know why. Yeah, the set builder just didn't like that player for some reason, but I know what he's saying. I've definitely seen some Stadium Club Larkin where it's like, this is the photo. It's like him sitting in the dugout. And it's like, well, that's not really the most fun part of what he did.
Right. Yeah, it's very, very, very true. And I just like the glass now. I'm like, dude, there's so many good photos of him pitching. Like he's got the long hair and like intense reactions when he strikes people out, and that's what you're going to go with. Anyway, I just want to talk about tops real quick. I don't know if you're a big flagship guy. Normally, I'm not. But as a card company, we keep an eye on their flagship because we want to see how our flagship stacks up compared to theirs, right? Just like Prism, Panini,
right?
So I watched a few videos and I saw the photo of Brian Wu. Like I said, very, very happy with the photo.
Nice.
And the design of the cards look fantastic, which I'll show you right here. Here's the Shohei. I don't know if anybody's heard of this guy, but I think he's decent. So
it's supposed to be an up and comer, but should be good.
Yeah, we'll see if we can do anything this year. But the 75-year anniversary, that's a pretty big deal for them, right? I mean, it's a very, very big deal. When you get to 2031, that's going to be our 30th anniversary set, right? So I think you got to, every time you get to the big anniversary, you got to deliver, right? And I think that the design, what I like to see when I see tops, I'm sure it's the same for everybody watching. And I don't know about you, Ben, but I know this card's going to parallel probably 60 to 70 times if you include Topps Chrome Sapphire. So you've got all those along with Holiday, right? You got all the different Holiday versions. So knowing I'm going to see this card tons of times, like when I collected Glasnow, the photo has got to be good. And Tyler had decent photos most of the time. One time it was a bad one. He's like picking off somebody to first, but it was just kind of, I don't know, wasn't great. So I'm very pleased with the design and the photo. So when you're looking at, I mean, this list is pretty extensive. I mean, it can't even show it in one screen, right? Here's all the different parallels that you're going to see with flagship that have been around and some newer ones. This is an interesting one. Look right here. Aqua Rainbow Foil, 1 out of 500 packs. That's not even numbered, but it's really rare. Same with this one here. You've got the Aqua Hollow Foil. That's 1 out of 500 in retail. So like, because they're making so much of this, you know, you've got to kind of break down what you're looking for. Ben, have you ever collected flagship before?
Not really. It hasn't really been my thing. I've always kept an eye out for inserts. You know, I do like when they did, and I have some of like the Ichiro Legend short prints. So they did those a couple of years. I do like those because they always choose nice photos. The one thing in this flagship that I'm excited about they haven't done before is they don't have the checklist out who's going to be on it, but they're doing a Legends golden mirror image variation. So super short printed image variations. There's going to be 100 Legends. And I'm like, 100. Ichiro's got a pretty good shot of making that list.
Right.
And that's probably going to be my big chase if he's in that. That'll be the one that I want to go after is his Legend golden mirror image.
Look at all these. One thing that I'm like, first of all, that sounds amazing. So I really hope the image is like early Ichiro, like socks down Ichiro, rookie of the year Ichiro, MVP Ichiro. I'm so shocked in a way that there's so many parallels that are the same number. right? Like that's really strange. Like obviously, if you've seen any Upper Deck products, we try really hard not to do the
Sure.
same base card, whether it's in a retail or not. Serial numbered versions. Like we always try to
Yeah.
make sure they're different, so you're not running into any confusion. I mean, I like that there's so many different chases here, but look how many different oranges and reds and blacks and golds there are. I mean, it's pretty
There's
overwhelming.
a lot out of 50. I think the good thing, though, if we're looking at the silver lining for one, they're going to print this product like crazy because it's the flagship. And so
Of course.
everybody wants to be able to open some of it, whatever. But the fact that there's so many gives you a shot to get something that's out of 50 or 25 for
Right.
less. If you're a Giants guy and you want the orange, well, there's like 5 different oranges out of 25 now.
Yeah,
So
right.
maybe it's not going to hurt the wallet as much.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about that. And these ones have me intrigued, the aqua, just because team color match with the Mariners. And then the 75 years of tops. I think that one will be a unique design, obviously. The rest of these have kind of been around. Independence Day, the camo, Father's Day, which I believe is in here still. Hold on. Do you see Mother's Day and Father's Day? Or am I just going crazy here?
It would be out of 50, so I don't see them.
That would be crazy to get rid of those. That would be seriously. They got rid of those. Wow. Unless I'm going. Wow, that's nuts. Wow.
Huh.
Okay. And then this one looks really, really cool. The foil fractors. I have one Tyler Glass now, and it looks
great. Yeah.
Dude. So I think similar to Stadium Club, you and I look for some of the rarer ones. Obviously, the golden mirror images, and then I wonder because they don't have it listed on here, like the true photo versions where the border is gone and it's just the photo. I think those look really, really cool too.
Oh yeah, the true photos. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really curious.
I saw those in there again in the list.
Okay. Well, I mean, flagship is a totally different beast than Stadium Club just because there's so much of, the product being printed. But I think there's some I like that they did the gold 101 autographs. That's such a cool little parallel that they did. And to be on card like that, that's going to be amazing for people to chase.
Actually, so that you brought up a good point there. Lucas saying they got rid of Mother's and Father's Day last year, so I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
So I kind of go at parallels, and I think it would be the same for hockey as well. I know we're being baseball heavy, but some of the stuff crosses over. Like I kind of look, especially for flagship, I look for 2 separate things. One, what's going to be a one-off thing that they'll only do once, and thus will kind of have this built-in rarity to it. So for this one, it's going to be the Diamond Anniversary out of 75. They're not going to do Diamond Anniversary next year. That's it.
Nope.
It's the 1 year. So that interests me. And then something like the gold border that's not very expensive, but is like tradition, right? So if it's a great photo, I'll consider picking up the parallel that's the first parallel they did with flagship in 2001, and it's existed ever since, right? So it has this like legacy built in where it's kind of always going to be collectible.
Yes.
So I almost tackle it from like 2 different ends: the thing that's always going to exist and they'll never deprecate, and the one that might be the one-off that they'll do once and you'll never see it again. I kind of like tackling it from both ends.
I like that. Yeah, and I think I have 2 thoughts about this. One, you're right. The solid orange was always kind of the main one, but they make so much of it, they have to, and they create chase and all the different versions that they put out, whether it's a retail or hanger pack, mega pack, whatever else you want to say. But I also think that it does give you plenty of options. Like if you want to, which we're going to approach this and maybe say, okay, there's 3 or 4 cards I want from this product. You have a laundry list of parallels to pick from that will be special no matter who the player is, because they're unique enough, right? So I don't see it as an issue. It definitely, you got to weed through all of the listings of all the parallels you don't want, but it makes it more special when you find the rarer ones, in my opinion. So
yeah, and people are only going to care about the one that's not the iteration of the original color,
right?
But there are some, and there's another product we're going to talk, the platinum, where they do different versions of colors. That one, they go nuts with it. And some of them I do actually like more than the true. Even though the true is going to sell for more, there's sometimes I'd like to give, like I've never even heard of Orange Phase for this year, whatever, the new one, or the spring training orange, whatever.
Yeah, right.
We'll see what those are. If they do something cool, like the logo fractor back, that was not a thing until it was, and it looks kind of cool.
So those look amazing, dude.
Sometimes they hit. Sometimes they hit. So I'm always willing to keep an open mind.
Right, for sure. Now, I do want to mention before we move on to hockey and wrap it up here that the all kings and the all aces look amazing. I would be lying if I said I don't want Woo to have an all aces, but they only did
Oof.
10 players.
Yeah.
And I think 4 are legends. So yeah, no chance. Maybe next year, but it'll be really fun to see these start making their way to eBay, and I'm curious to see the Ichiro images for sure. That's going to be a lot of fun. Well,
Yep.
on that note, we do want to talk about hockey because that's a kind of a different approach to how we approach those new releases. And for those who might want to stay, you'll be the first to, well, not the first to see because these solicitations have been up, but many people don't know about it. My first full hobby product that's going to make it to market. We're going to show that after Ben talks a little bit about one that he's really excited about. But yeah, that's going to be fun for me to talk about. So Ben, what product caught your eye? Because there is one coming out that UC Saros has some really, really cool cards in, but I'm really fascinated to see what you're kind of eyeing in there as opposed to what I might go for.
Well, there's 2, but I think the one, so there's, I'll say one is SP Game Used. I'll share this screen 3. There we go. So this is the one that's upcoming. And I don't know SP Game Used how collectible that is in like the hockey market, but when I was flipping through this solicitation, the one that really caught my eye was this Four Nations face-off.
Yeah, buddy. Yep.
I think one that's a really cool idea, like just how specific the material is from like when it was used makes it just, it's like very tailored and like unique. Like a patch from a specific thing is special. I like that. I like the cut of the 4. I like the design. Like that's one I'm very interested in right away. I have a Supreme patch, so I'll be holding out to kind of see what the patches look like. But then the other one that really caught my eye is just the design for this year. This is for the baseball folks. That's like the throwback 2005 SP game.
Don't you have a Tony Gwynn of that?
Different version of this. I have a saved Ichiro of this exact design that I've saved for 6 months that I haven't pulled the trigger on.
Okay.
But I've looked at it constantly, so I'm so familiar with this design. I love the way it looks. So when I scrolled down and saw this, I was like, "Oh, killer!" Like, yeah, these I'm gonna have to see these open to see like what they look like with the depth, but and the foil they chose. But man, I think this will be the first one I'll be keeping an eye out for. Just because
did you go down and look at the checklist, by the way? Because what you can do is you can go down there, checklist, click full checklist, and do a Control F for Saros.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what he's in because I'm very curious. Okay, so he's got a Four Nations auto jersey. That's going to be sick. And then he's only got one other card, which is what? The fabric. So he's got the patch out of 15. So he will have that card. So you've got to get one, dude. That's so sick. I know.
That's one where it's like, yeah, I searched earlier and I saw him. I don't know if I even need the auto, but I definitely want the patch.
Depends on, again, like just what we talked about earlier, right? How cool is the photo? How cool is the design? Like, does it frame the auto? Is it just slapped on there? Like, I think there's so many things to consider when going into collecting. Darcy Kemper is not even in the base set, doesn't have any cards. And so that's going to be fun for me in a way, like outside looking in when you're working somewhere and this product comes out, seeing people get the cards that really love. I am curious for Bernard, who's a hockey guy. And then Jeff, if you're still here, are there any cards that you're going to be going after of your guys? Because I know the Red Wings, they probably got to be represented somewhere within this set quite well. But I'm curious what other people are interested. Yeah, dude, those Four Nations look great. I love that design. Love the way that the opaque on the bottom of that card where you can kind of still see Nathan McKinnon, but you've got all of the vitals there or the team vitals, and the numbering is in red too. It's so nice. Very well done.
Just great design. So yeah, that's even upcoming for me. That'll be the one card. And like I said, I'll have to see where the auto placement is. Lucky for me, Saros patch autos are not that expensive. So depending on the auto placement and the design of that, but I would not mind just getting the patch version of this card just because the focus of the card is the patch and like what the patch is from. So
I agree. If you look at that design too, where do you think the label's going to go? Right. I mean,
that's where I'm like, yeah.
So
very stoked on that.
Oh, good. I'm glad that Jeff's got some players that a player that he can go after for sure. Nice. And then Stevie Eiserman, I don't know if we do Legends this year, but he usually gets featured in stuff like this. But I think for me too, I'm a purist, and I will talk more about that in a couple of weeks when I show off some of my first Brian Wu cards that I bought. Ben and I talked about this too, and just hopefully we can talk a little bit about, when you get into a new side quest, how that works. But that's great, Ben. Well, I'm excited to see if you get that. I do want to show one more thing here. This is kind of exciting for me. I wish that you had a Canadian player you were going after, but this is a Canadian exclusive release. It is just called Upper Deck Team Canada 2026. I was tasked to build this set, and there's a couple pretty exciting things coming in here. If you're a big Legends guy, I think, Ben, you're talking about hobby history a lot.
Yep.
Well, this set is going to feature some of the first big cards of certain players that we've ever had. And so I'm very, very curious to see how people respond. Now, to put a little, flesh on the bone there, we don't do Legends in our flagship products in the base set. We just do players that are in the league. And similar to Tops, we try to spread the checklist out so you get, the third liners and the backup goalies in the set, right? There's people that collect them, team collectors, player collectors. So this way, if you think about current and retired Team Canada men and women, think about some of the greatest players that have ever played the game that are going to be in this set. So I'll start by saying here is the base there showing you guys. So here's McKinnon. We've got a Legends short print part of the base set. There's 50 cards that are going to have Legends. So as you see here, this is our red outburst parallel, right? Well, what else does that mean? What other outburst parallel comes after the red?
The gold, right?
The gold 1-1. Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr. I don't want to mention anybody else because, checklists can change. Marc-Andre Fleury, I know he's in this. They will all have 1-1s. And if my memory serves me correct, this will be the first time that you can get a Wayne Gretzky gold outburst 1-1. Mario Lemieux.
That's going to be a chase.
And so forth. So these are going to be humongous chases within this set. And there's a lot of women's Legends that are in that set that'll have their first outburst, gold outburst, and some autographs as well. So this is going to be really cool to see how it does. It's an auto-driven product, obviously, but I think the gold outburst 1-1s are going to be the chase for many, many people. So
is this the first set you guys have done where it's men and women's hockey in the same
you know what?
Product?
There's been some Tim Hortons that have had both. I think this is the first full-blown – well, no, because Team Canada Juniors have had men and women in it. So that would be where it started. But this will be where – and you know what, Bernard? I'm so sorry I don't know this. Is Steve Yzerman an American or a Canadian player? Because there's a chance he might be in this. And, yes, I expect you to buy one card at least. Moving on, obviously, autograph-driven product.
Yeah.
There's some really cool pairings. There are – duals, triples, quads, legendary lineups, which are 6-way signatures, all players that played together on the same team. And of course the 8-ways, which are going to be crazy cards. And then, you've got your Team Canada signatures. One thing that I am very proud of is every auto insert I come up with, I want to make sure this label fits on the card and framed on the card, because bless the hearts of the people that put the labels on these cards. You got to know where to put them, because if you don't, they're not going to be straight. So I'm very proud of that. Okay, good. See, I'm pretty sure Steve Yzerman has a card in here. Bernard, you'll have to ask me later in the week, and I'll look that up for you. So fun little thing for me here too. The blue liners went for the Tron vibe. So very, very proud of how this turned out. The electric wings. When you come up with a name like that, you're thinking of an electric player.
Right.
But the designer I worked with, Shelly, she did an amazing job on this. So got some prodigious pairings, which have the autos, which is kind of cool because they fit in the goal crease. And then I was very proud of this solicitation card because look who's on the card with Sidney Crosby. I think the card, the picture shows that. Don't know if that'll make it into the final product. Oftentimes solicitation photos get changed, but
sure.
It was just cool to have this on the solicitation. So having autographs of him are big in there. And then the inserts, of course, no idea why they solicited Marc-Andre Fleury for the Guardians of the Crease insert.
Weird choice.
Here he is. And then representing the flag. The parallels of these are going to look great, especially representing the flag, the turquoise parallel. I'm very proud of the way that turned out. Okay. And then this right here, there's a few like acetate inserts. And what's really cool is that this area here and this area here are completely see-through. So it's going to look like on the card. So, very, very excited for these. There's some other stuff in here, obviously, that you can't show yet because of solicitation. But yeah, I'm excited for that release because, of course, with it being Team Canada, Darcy Kemper has a card, so he'll have the Outburst parallels on that, and then and the High Gloss, of course,
Right.
and then so will Marc-Andre Fleury, who is in the Legend set. And I'm very, very, very happy that whoever built the checklists, the person that built the checklist was nice enough to include both of those players in there. So for me, I think in a release like that, you and I have talked about flagship hockey. Obviously going for the high gloss is great. If the photo is really good, especially, grab that high gloss. For me, I've collected every high gloss in Fleury's career, so it's kind of essential that I were to kind of keep that run together.
Right.
But knowing that the photos look really cool, because I've gone back and looked at some of them, especially those Legends photos, some of the black and white photos, man, they look so cool. So I'm really excited to see how people react to this product, and I'm excited to chase down, the exclusives, because I think that's great hobby history going back to early Upper Deck parallels, and then of course the high gloss and the red outburst. The gold outburst are a crapshoot. You never know if they're going to show up. If they do and you have a chance, great. If not, there's Ethan Schwartz and other guys that just scoop them up. So I'm very excited about it. What are your thoughts kind of looking at that? Like if you had a guy in that set, would there be a couple cards you'd be going after?
The outburst, and I'm a sucker for an acetate. Like that one immediately, especially if the roadway there has like a foil, which it looks like it does. You give me a foil with some acetate surrounding it on the card, like, come on.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like luxury to have like an acetate with something on top of it that pops. Like that would be my thing. And then I do think the way you guys have made that Starburst kind of like the mainstay, I love it. It's like it's Dufexy. It's like we don't have access to it anywhere, but it gives a hint of Dufex that I very much appreciate.
Right. Well, and I don't sleep on those outbursts. I've really grown fond of them. And those red outbursts out of 25, if you get a chance to grab one of Saros or another player you collect in the future, you won't be disappointed. I think they just look really good. Even the silver outbursts, you can get them for like $2 a pop, and they're a box hit. So, excuse me. I think they're definitely worth going after. Couple comments here. Yep, I agree that SB. Yep, that design is going to be fantastic. Anybody that collects those is going to love them. Yep, the purple out of 5. Those are great parallels. Take my money. That's great, Bernard. I can't say because it hasn't been officially said. I know what they put on cleats and Chara, and that's not it. So not it. But hopefully sooner than later. That's what I will say, because I'm very, very excited about that one to come out. Nice to see our buddy in here. Significant interest. It's been a while since we've seen you. Thanks for joining. And yes, of course, Canadian. So being that it's Canada only, you got to get a little creative if you're going to be going after that stuff. But I think in general, Ben, to kind of wrap it up, I think hopefully people can listen to this and see, you can get excited about a new release, but it's nice to pick and choose each of the parallels you want to go after, right? Like what do you think that's going to mean to you, Ben, when it comes to the meaningful aspect of each of the cards that comes in?
Yeah, well, part of it is I know I did my work and like the auditing and didn't get overly excited about a product, right? Like I made sure I watched some of it get open. I got a feel for what those parallels, inserts, whatever it is I've decided I'm kind of curious about actually look like something I'm going to be interested in, right? So I've done a little bit of homework like you would for any card or single. You do your comps, you kind of look around, you're kind of figuring out what the market's like for that card. You're searching, you're saving your searches, you're looking at other players, and you're doing a research for a single, kind of doing it a similar way with a product, right? You're putting your guardrails on, you're doing a little bit of your research, so you don't get excited about the new shiny thing, get it in the mail and go, wish I hadn't done that. I got too excited about the new shiny, right? So it's just about being like intentional. It's definitely something with some of the hockey stuff I've been looking at that I have to be careful, because you guys, it's a totally new world for me with all these cool, exciting designs, right? So I go, ooh, everything seems cool. One we didn't mention, but I will be keeping an eye out for and trying to get my hands on some of the physical cards will be the Ultra. Coming out for hockey. If you guys haven't looked at it, the hockey guys, oh man, I'm digging. Actually, I'll just show it real quick because one I'm really
go for it. Yeah, we're going to be doing a physical release for NHL Flair Ultra this year, and it's coming out pretty soon.
I'm sharing out, right? Can you see that?
Yep, I got it. It's coming up.
Oh, there we go. Cool. Yeah. few different parallels of the base, but the one that I really like is the medallions, the way you did a rainbow of the medallions.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I can't wait to see what these look like the gold, the emerald. Like these give PMG vibes, but with Fleer
Right.
and Ultra, like a brand that I know from baseball that I really like. So
Right.
I am like all about, I have to see what this is going to look like. You kind of gave me a hint that they're going to print not a whole lot of it, so we'll have to keep an eye out for it, but I'm going to be like all over watching
Well,
the product.
I want to just make a little correction there. I know I got to be careful what I say, but it's not that we're not printing a lot of it. It's just that there's not going to be like a ton of it in hobby out there, right? Like you gotta kind of imagine. Now we're kind of testing the waters in a way, right?
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
EPAC only product, so you're like just feeling
Always
out
has
the
been.
interest for
Yeah.
this one. So
Can you go back up to the base too? Because to add to that, and it's kind of word's gotten out because Klutz and Chara put up like a placeholder for it, but we're doing a PWHL with that design, with the medallions and like there's a few new insert designs, but the base and the medallions. If you scroll down, Ben, there's one insert I really want to hype up. This Billy's product. Keep going, keep going. Did they not include the?
These are the only two.
Right there,
okay, yeah.
The licensing. That's a Billy and Gene creation. Every player has a different background, and there's some overlapping going on. It's almost like a Metal Universe feeling card, but we have those in PWHL too, and I'm so excited for people to see those cards in person, just how unique they look.
The full bleed is sick. I do like the throwback kind of Metal Universe of it interacting with the play. Like you have this bleeding over onto the photo. Yep. Sick. Mm-hmm. I'll be curious to see what these look like too. I'm not sold on this picture, but I like it. I'm curious to see what these look like when they're.
I didn't bring those into PWHL because again, they're original art, but I also I wasn't in love with the design, but I'm curious to see when you go that far outside of the box with any idea, like if that was Ichiro or Brian Wu, would we grab it? Well, they're really rare, so we're already interested, but would we pass on it because of the photo or would we be like, it's so crazy looking that it's unique. Like maybe I do want to add one.
But
so
it feels like a unique art piece too, because of the way it's stylized. And they are, I mean, they're 1 in 450, so they're going to be short printed.
1 every 3 cases. Yep.
Yeah. So that's not going to be easy to grab. I mean, and again, if it comes down to if this were done with Ichiro and his famous batting stance pointing with this design, to me, it's like a piece of art. I would want to have one just because it's so different. So
you'd have to have him in that pose, right?
It'd have to be the right pose for it to work for me.
For sure.
Because then even if it's so stylized, you couldn't even tell who it is. You know, it's Ichiro because of the stance,
Right. Yeah.
So,
and that's
be interesting.
An interesting discussion, right? When you have something that's that unique and that rare, do you pass on it or not? Right. Because Julio Rodriguez has a bunch of case hits, but some of them are just like kind of so generic that I'm like, I know they're rare, but it doesn't do anything for me. Whereas like the home field advantage, like even though those are pretty common compared to other case hits, they just look so cool and unique to the player.
Right.
So, yeah, and he doesn't have a Series 1 home field advantage, so I assume he'll have like a Series 2 or something. So
probably
it'll be fun to go after. Well, yeah, I'm excited for all of these, and I think I'm really excited to be intentional and specific about what we're going to be grabbing for each player that we collect, and it'll be fun to kind of update each other as the sets come out. Flagships this week for Topps, and then Stadium Club is next week.
Yep.
And then Flair Ultra should also be next week. So SB Game U should be this week. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out, and then we don't know when Platinum's coming out. Platinum Anniversary probably March or April.
Yeah, it'll be later
on that one. Give us plenty of time to chase down what we're looking for. With these 4 sets that are coming out. So yeah, that's because Darcy Kemper does have a Flair Ultra base card, so I'm very excited.
Ooh, nice.
Collect some of the. I mean, for that, there's only like 5 parallels, so a rainbow, if the photo is good enough, is doable for a player like that. But yeah, should be fun.
I guess if we're gonna wrap, my closing thought too is, we're having the conversation here, and there's a lot of releases coming out. It's kind of hard to keep up with all of it if you're working and you got other stuff going on, trying to like watch breaks and everything. So I think this is where we could probably, as like a group, huddle under the Facebook group that we have. Like, hey, I'm looking for this release, or chat with each other. I know when like Platinum Anniversary comes out, I don't know if Ray's going to be after it, but I'm telling you, Ray, the solicitation photo, go look at the Ichiro design, because it's one of the photos they dropped was Ichiro. I would be happy to collab on trying to keep an eye out for those on different platforms. But I think, especially with like new releases, I think if you can work as a team to find stuff and have each other's backs, if you know what people are looking for, get your guardrails on. Here's the few that I'm keeping an eye on. If you see someone pulled one in a break or something, like let people know. Be fun to work together on some of these.
It would. No, it'd be really fun to help each other find what we're looking for, right? So I just want to show again, we announced it last episode, but we did create a Facebook group. There's 18 people in there, but we're really looking for people that are part of this podcast, that are watching this live or after the fact, and just trying to create a community feel, right? I've got my cards from Flagship that I really, really enjoy of Julio. Bernard was talking about the game yesterday. Sorry about that. Go Seahawks. Matt was talking about this, which was great, as he posted what he thought was the parallel out of 67, but it's actually the retail blue. So we were able to kind of, Will was able to talk about, actually clarify this. And so just trying to keep up the community. Ben posted some stuff about it, Saros, and how the community's helped him out. I posted about unique cards. So I think we're really, headed in a great direction, the right direction. But to get the community vibe going in there, we need, some people interacting with one another. So I love your idea then of getting this out when we get maybe a flagship card or two in, and seeing if people are out there to help each other out. Because I think, for me too, I get to see quite a lot of competitor stuff get opened. And so it's fun to know that I can find something for a friend. Actually, found something from Matt, which was great. Nice. So anyway, great closing thoughts. My closing thoughts is first of all, I'm excited. I can't wait to chase down a new side quest player. Usually when really fun things happen in life, I like to, in the hobby, I like to kind of commemorate that by collecting something or someone. And I was leaning towards Mariners, but I think really focusing on a player who I get excited to watch pitch every fifth game, who I've seen pitch in person, and seems to be a really, really good person, along with a great pitcher. So I'm really excited to kind of chase along with you, but in two very different avenues because of the caliber of players.
Yeah,
so
we'll have very different show-offs, which will make it fun, even on new products.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's going to be great, man. Well, to anybody out there collecting Flagship, good luck. Hope you have fun opening it. This is the perfect product to open with family and friends. It doesn't really cost you too much money. You have a chance at some amazing stuff in there. Here I am hyping up Tops, but I think for me, it signifies baseball coming back, and that's always really exciting because we get spring training coming up. Everybody's team has a chance to win it all at that point, and it's more of just kind of getting back into the swing of things. No pun intended to into that side of the hobby. So really appreciate everybody being here, Ben. This was a great discussion. Really liked having the chat that we did. And if anybody has any questions about the Facebook group or anything, please let us know. You can always reach out to me and Ben. We are trying to get a little more active on Instagram. So we would love some chit chat on there. And let us know if you have any other questions. So Ben, thanks for being here, dude. And
thanks. Thanks everybody in the chat.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll see you guys, not this coming Sunday, obviously,